Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Rep My Block Show. This your girl KeyIce and my co-host.
Grandmastar Case, Monstar. What's going on, Key? How you been this segue?
I'm good. I am good. How are you doing?
Good. Just watching all the spectacle go down out there in the hip hop universe. Keeping it fresh out there, man, and giving us something to talk about. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's there's a lot going on. We have a lot to cover today, and let's just get into it because there's just so much going on,
Yeah.
and everybody know that the main thing everybody's talking about is that Diddy stuff. We're gonna talk about that near the end of the show today. But first and foremost, we had a winner for Freestyle Fridays, and
Freestyle
that was
Friday.
JT Finessa out of Houston,
Hey,
Texas.
let's get some
Congratulations to
applause for him.
JT Finessa. Yeah, that's what's up. He's actually the March Grand Prize winner. It was the Grand Prize show last night,
Nice.
and there were four March winners competing. We had Tycoon the Misfit, who represented Virginia, but he's currently in Texas. Then we had, of course, JT Finessa, who won. Then we had Lady
Nice.
Sneak out of Oakland, California. Excuse me. And then we
Right.
had Sacrifice out of New York. But
Right.
yeah, it
Right.
was crazy.
Okay.
It was crazy. After the winner, there's basically two rounds. So
Yeah.
after the first round with the March winners, they competed against Drip Money Dave, who was the February Grand Prize winner.
Wow.
And yeah, so that's how JT Finesse ended up on top. But shout out to him. Shout out to Drip Money Dave. He did his thing too, though, man. It was a really
Yeah.
nice show.
Shout out
Everybody
to
did their
everybody.
thing. Yeah.
Hype.
Hearing a little static over there. But yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
how
But I know we had some before we get to Beyonce, I know we had some top Billboard TikTok tracks, right? Going on.
Yeah, so on the billboards for TikTok this week, we got Beyonce coming in with Texas Hold'em at spot number 3, and we got at spot number 6, Loving on Me, Jack Harlow, and that's it for the. Oh, and we got Carnival went down to number 7, even though it was at the
What?
top last week. It's down at the. It's making its way through the chart. From the top to the bottom, 1 through 10, we got spot number 1, Someday I'll Get It by Alec Olson. Spot number 2, End of Beginning by D. Joe. 3, Texas Hold'em. 4, Austin by Dasha. Beautiful Things by Benson Boone at number 5. Loving on Me at number 6. Carnival at number 7. Lady Killers at number 8 by G Easy. Praise Jah in the Moonlight by YG Marley. That's coming from Bob Marley's son at number 9. And Make You Mine, Madison Bear at number 10. And just a quick want to mention Get It Sexy by Sexy Red coming in at number 12. Looks like she's trying to get up there into the top 10.
Man, that
But
was
that's it on the
nice.
top 50.
There's a lot of changes going on. I mean, how? Because I know you're probably more on TikTok than because I know I'm not actually able to be on it through my personal device. But long story.
Uh,
But from what you've seen, as far as because since UMG removed their music from there, what changes have you seen as far as the top trending songs?
the top trending songs, it seems to still be like trucking along, I don't see like a big significant difference in that arena, but it may be like it may be affecting their audience because I know my audience has dropped like significantly. Like I was
Oh,
seeing
really?
at least like 200 views, at least 200, 600 views on my videos. Now I'm down to like 60. Like
Really?
where'd everybody go? Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know if that has something to do with the music or something to do with the TikTok ban, but I do know that the ball is in China's court now. So like they got to tell us something. Are y'all gonna sell or what are y'all gonna do, man? We want to keep this relationship going.
Yeah. I mean, that's a trip. I mean, that's a drastic difference that you just mentioned with the view number. Because just looking at like the charts, who's been charting, I have noticed that more unknown independent artists have been getting in those charts than
That is
normal.
true. Yeah.
So I'm thinking that, and I want to say because what I've noticed with some independent artists who have fans abroad, there's been an uptick in fans coming from like the Switzerland, like the what,
Mm.
like Upper Europe area,
Oh, like
Finland, like,
Germany. Yeah.
yeah, like countries you don't just think of off the top of your head.
Yeah.
But I do know that
Netherlands,
some of those,
Finland.
yeah, in some of those countries they actually have, because when artists when they buy those, what do you call it? It's like, I guess, music promotion. You could call it that. But when they buy
Mm-hmm.
it, it's not necessarily buying streams, but really it kind of is because they're buying like for people to more listen to it more. So like a lot
Yeah.
of those companies are in those areas. So I'm thinking when that type of thing happens, that somehow the algorithm detects that, and it
Mm.
But yeah, it's been really interesting to see the
Yeah.
changes.
Speaking of the algorithm detecting things, uh, what's going on with all this country music that Beyonce has been putting in our faces? It's been sounding great. Been enjoying myself listening to it. Might go buy me a cowboy hat and some boots. She's
Yeah,
turning
I mean,
generations.
she's definitely doing her thing with the country music, that's for sure. I mean, she just released her Carter album, and it's been doing really good. I think on iTunes it's number one, if I'm not mistaken, right now.
Wow.
And it was the most, I do know for sure, it was the most streamed album of the year so far in 2024.
Wow, you
So
got a album
congratulations to her.
cover too. Look at that. That
Yeah,
is fantastic art right there. She's got the whole the American flag with the cowboy boots and it looks like some jean pants on with a white hat, white hair too, and the white horse. I'm sure there's symbolism in there that I'm not privy to, but
yeah,
it's beautiful to look at for sure.
yeah. And she has some songs that one thing I do like about Beyonce a lot, because first of all, I like the album a lot. I
Mm.
actually like it more better than Renaissance. Renaissance was not one of my favorite albums of hers. I know the
Uh-oh.
Beehive's going to get at me for that, but um,
Uh-oh. She
I
didn't
like
mean
this
it,
album
y'all.
better. I like it better because it's more. I will say, like, I was surprised that some of the songs weren't as country as I was expecting,
Mm.
because, like, she did, before the album was released, she did put out a statement saying that this is not a country album, it's a Beyonce album. So that was definitely the
That's
case.
such an artist thing to say.
Yeah. But that is really the case though, because like
Yeah.
it's Beyonce, because she put her own,
Mm.
twist on
Spin on
everything.
it. Wow.
Yeah, so as far as like true country songs on it, because let me double check the number of tracks she has on. I think it's like 20 something, but I want to
Wow.
say it was probably just half country. It
Wow.
has 27 songs on it. So out of those
Wow.
27, yeah, just half, if that,
Dang.
is
She
country.
went hard.
Yeah, she did. And the album's 18.99 on iTunes, y'all. That's a high price for an album. I'm
Hey,
like,
that's
that's
a high
pretty
priced
high.
album?
Yeah, most of the
I
albums
don't know
that
nothing
have
about
been
iTunes. I'm a pirate out there, so I
okay.
download all my stuff illegally.
Okay. Well, I'll just
Don't
say
tell
that,
nobody else.
wow, you told the world.
Y'all keep that between us, all right? Look,
um,
y'all remember Live Wire and all that stuff, and What was the other ones? Well, Livewire was the one. LimeWire, not Livewire. LimeWire. I know y'all remember
Oh
that.
yeah, but most of them are like $9.99 nowadays or $12.99. Like
Oh,
Usher's, his was $14.99. That was on the high side to me. But
dang.
she was like $18.99.
Yeah.
Girl,
Yeah, she trying to get
girl.
reparations off this album. Shit.
I mean, yeah. I mean, as
Wow.
deserved.
For real.
But
I always tell people that this country is every bit as much as it is our cousins, the white folk. It is also ours, the black folk. You know, our parents shed blood and tears in order to make this country what it is today. So proudly say you're African American. And now with Beyonce's Cowboy Carter album, we have a soundtrack to ride out to.
yeah,
Get our honky
for
tonk on.
sure. And she had there's some a few songs on the album I did want to point out because she redid the Beatles Blackbird song, and she
Oh,
did that with some other black female country artists, which was really cool. Tanner
okay.
Adele, Brittany Spencer, Tierra Kennedy, and Raina Roberts. They were all on that track with her, and they did a
Yeah.
nice medley. It's so nice. I like it a lot.
Wow. That's
But
awesome.
yeah, but as far as the Blackbird, for those that don't know the history of that song, it was more like a it happened during the civil rights movement. So when the
Mm,
Beatles made it, it was in the summer of 1968,
mm,
and it was around the time when there was there's a group of kids around that time. It was referred to as the Little Rock Nine. So there were some teenagers.
oh,
Yeah, the Little Rock Nine. There were some teenagers who had enrolled in an all-white high school, Little Rock,
yeah.
Arkansas, and that was in 1957. But it caused a national outrage, because they're like,
Mhm.
the. But it was her song is linked to that history, and so I,
That's
I like how
awesome.
she put history in her music.
Yeah, and it's an album that talks. It's like
Hmm.
that's what makes art art. Art is not just this pretty picture, but it's a pretty picture that has a message to it. You know, the
Right.
photo's worth more than 1,000 words, sort of deal. And it's nice to hear somebody's, making art out there that does more than just tell us the color of their private areas. You know,
Yeah. Most deaf.
speaking of,
Speaking of what?
speaking of holes being brown and stuff like that. Unless you had something else to say about Beyonce, real quick.
Yeah, I do have a couple more things because I wanted to
Okay.
mention some of the other features that she has on this album because, again, breaking out into a new genre is
Yeah.
difficult, so
Yeah.
she made sure she had representation from, traditional country artists. So she has a track on there with Willie Nelson. Oh, well, two
What?
actually. Yeah, I was like, Willie Nelson. Wow, he's like
That's
90
A
something years old.
Town, Austin,
Yes.
Texas. Let's go.
Oh, okay. Yes, Dolly Parton was representing on her music there.
Wow.
Um, but I was really surprised at these features. She did a beautiful song called Most Wanted with Miley Cyrus. It's so beautiful. They're
What?
singing together. Like it's like a duet.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I have not done my homework well enough. I
Yeah, and
need
then
to go
she
listen
has
to
a
this.
song.
That's why it's 18.99.
Yeah. And then she has a song with I really didn't expect this one. Post Malone. It's called Levi's Jeans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Linda Martell, but Shabuzi, she really did her thing with this album, and I think
Hmm.
just the fact that she did her history for the album too. I think that's what is making a lot of people also respect it a lot. But
Yeah.
of course, she had the haters. Hey y'all, we see y'all hating on the page. We put up a when she put up Texas Hold'em when she first released it. We put a music
Yeah.
post up on the page for that. We got a
Uh-huh.
lot of haters on that post. Like, what's going on, y'all? Stop hating
It's
on Beyonce.
2024, man.
Yeah, they talking about how she's not, because on that cover she had she wasn't really dressed all the way on that one. So
Uh-huh.
they're talking about how she dressed. I'm like, come on, she's fully clothed on her actual album cover. Come on, but
Gotta
anyway,
be doing something right if they hating on
yeah,
you. Gotta
I
be
just
doing
had to
something
say
right.
that because that was, yeah, that was getting to me. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I
But
mean, it makes sense now. Now that I've heard all of this, it makes perfect sense why the album's 18.99. You know, for $18, about close to a 20 ball, you can own a piece of history, y'all. Beyonce, she's not the first one to do it, but like she said, this is not a country album; it's a Beyonce album. So you're gonna be owning a piece of history right there. She's
yeah,
even went ahead and made it with some of the dopest features I could hear on a track. Miley Cyrus, Willie Nelson, Dolly Parton, and some up and comers too. That's incredible.
right. I mean, it
That's
really is.
incredible.
And I mean, best wishes to her.
If
Oh
you,
yeah, one more thing. She sent K Michelle some flowers because you know how people been comparing her and K Michelle with the country music and stuff. I think
yeah,
she's seen it on social media, so she sent K Michelle some flowers saying she would love to meet her one day and stuff. And K Michelle posted talking about she's in
wow.
tears. Yeah, so I
Wow.
thought that was really good because I was like really would have liked to see K Michelle on the album too, but I'm sure the timing wasn't right for that.
Wow, this is a nice thing going on here right now with Beyonce. Thank you, Miss Queen
Yeah,
B, for keeping the
right,
conversation, giving us something to talk about so nice and airy.
right.
Uh, before we continue the airy conversation, let's talk about Tierra Whack dropping her new album, Worldwide Whack, out there. It's now
Yeah,
streaming on all platforms, I presume. And she's just been going on different talk shows, expressing herself about how she became to be an artist, how she started rapping when she was young in school and stuff, and her mom forced her to get out the car and join the rap cipher so that she could get some exposure, and that pretty much started her whole like rapping career. Going from the school tables, the lunch tables, to rapping outside in front of cameras with like neighborhood hoodlums, neighborhood posses.
Who?
And now she's dropping her second. The first one was an EP, and this is her first album. She's dropping 15 songs on that list, and it's worth a listen, y'all. She's really relatable. This artist. If you never heard anything from Tierra Whack, you might remember her from the song "Unemployed." Uh,
Unemployed.
yes, from unemployed to employed. She's definitely employed now.
Oh yeah, for
But go check.
sure. She can hire people herself now,
Hmm.
for sure. So have you heard the whole thing, or you heard just a few tracks from it so far?
Just one track from it so far. Mostly,
Okay.
if I'm being candid, I've been hearing a lot more of the interviews because that's where she really goes into the mental anguish that she's had to deal with, her creative process, how it is she comes up with her ideas, and what life
Yeah.
is like being a unique individual with outlandish ideas, and just how she grew up not feeling like she was fitting in all the time, to finding out like everyone enjoys her, and enjoys her work. And she even told us a story about how her and Beyonce worked together on one of the Lion King songs.
Oh
She
yeah,
was
that
telling
is
us
right. I
how,
forgot about that.
yeah, she was telling us how she was supposed to just be a feature in the middle of the song, but Beyonce
Hmm.
ended up liking her song so much that uh ended up liking her verse so much that she put her at the beginning of the track instead of on the back end. And the story of how she met Beyonce for the first time is actually kind of funny. She was telling it. She was saying how she was at a skating rink, and everyone's there skating, various superstars and stuff. And she sees Beyonce. Like, she says she's not a strong skater, so she's like holding on to the rail trying to get her footing. And she saw Beyonce coming, and she tried to time it just right to where she could like jump off the rails and kind of skate next to Beyonce for a moment. And I feel like if you ever meet a star for the first time, it's one thing to imagine it, but when it happens, it's like, dang, they really are a normal person. What do I even say? Kind of, kind of
Yeah.
ordeal. Because like, you Beyonce. What do you want me to
Right.
say? Like, make it
Exactly.
clear.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and I've seen some of those moments too, like when people meet a celebrity, and they weren't actually a good one was Lenny Kravitz. He recently
Mhm.
went to Bucky's for the first time, and
Mhm.
people were like, they were like looking at him like, is that really Lenny Kravitz? Like,
Uh-huh.
but he was just like, that walk he does. He was just doing his little walk through the store, all
Yeah.
happy and stuff. And
Yeah.
a few people they came up to him, but for the most part, people were just like, And even when I saw it, I was like, is that a lookalike? Because sometimes
Yeah.
if you see him on
Yeah.
TV all the time, sometimes they fix him up to look a different way. And so when you see him in
Mhm.
person, sometimes it's like, what is that really them?
Right. And it's that stardom is like, well, you know who you are, and you see me looking at you. Like, make this, what is the
Yeah,
star etiquette? What is the way to introduce yourself to a celebrity when they know who they are, but they don't know who you are? You just gotta swallow the pill and throw in a
I mean,
dollar
what would
bill
you
and risk
say?
it. Huh?
What would you say? Like, if you met your favorite celebrity, what would you say if you met them?
Well, it's happened to me a couple of times, so I've had some
Okay,
practice.
all
Most
right.
of the time, and I've actually experienced it on both sides of the street. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not trying to brag or nothing, but I've actually had people come up to me and be like, "Hey, you're Grandmaster Bass," or "Hey, you're Bass Monstar," and be like, "Oh
That's
snap,
what's
yeah,
up.
I am. Thank you." But even that's fine. And then
Yeah,
when the shoe's on the other foot for me, I just introduce myself, like a regular person, shake their hand. That's what they're in public for. They're ready for you to say something to them. So just go ahead and say it. Try to make it as fun of a conversation as you can for you to have.
yeah,
Pretend like you're talking to your best friend, if you will. You know,
that makes sense. Yeah,
yeah, they
yeah. I
need to
mean,
drop a book like that.
for sure. But I mean, there was the Tierra Whack story. That's definitely a really good one. And I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
there's
I didn't finish it.
okay,
So like I said, she introduced herself, and then that's how she at the skating rink is how she ended up beating Beyonce, and then uh by them being in touch with each other, she was able to you know Beyonce was telling her like her daughter is a fan of her, and then Beyonce listened to her as well, and then became a fan. And like I
mm,
said, they put her verse at the front of the track instead of the middle, and at first it was off, like the engineering was off a little bit on the song, and Tierra was saying like how she was so nervous to have to like bring that up to the Queen Bee and kind of tell her like something's wrong with it. So she finally worked up the spirit to say something about it, and somehow got in touch with Jay-Z. Jay-Z got in touch with Queen Bee, and they fixed it in a snap. And I was just like, dang, that I know how that can feel, like you don't want to like be like you spitting on the opportunity to do something dope, and because somebody else made a mistake, now you got to go down however you go down. So I think it was really
exactly.
dope how she stood for her art,
Yeah,
because that can be kind of tough.
yeah, it really can. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scroll while it's on,
Oh,
but
no, you're good.
just to
We
backtrack a
gotta
little
talk
bit.
about the red situation.
Yeah, like we wanted to touch base on the new releases at the beginning of the show now because like we found that we hadn't really been getting to them on some of the other episodes. So one that's been really hot is Sexy Red. She just released Get It Sexy. And I've actually seen more men talking about how they like the song than females.
Uh,
And I
no
guess it's
doubt.
the video. I haven't seen it yet. I'm actually going to do a key reaction video to it later. But
Oh,
I think that whatever this song has in it, the guys are really liking. They're really
yeah.
liking it. I heard Aiden Ross is in it, Drake's in it, a Soldier Boy. That's what I heard
Okay.
or on the article. So we're gonna check it out on
Okay.
Q Reactions a little bit later and see what's up with it.
All right.
And
I'm
shout
gonna
out to
tune in
her.
on that one. See what all the hubbub is about.
Right. And she had joined the Drake concert tour as well for a couple of the shows. I'm not sure how many. I know it's just a few. But let's talk about the Future and Metro Boomin latest album release because this is fire. Man,
Man.
this it's really nice, y'all. I mean, as y'all know, Future and Metro Boomin, they're both major producers. Future is also a rapper. They do a lot of things. They're just multi-talented across the board. And they have a new album called "We Don't Trust You" that just released. But out of it, all the tracks on the album, the whole thing fire. But out of all the tracks on them, everybody's talking about "Boom," the one where Kendrick Lamar is dissing Drake and J. Cole, mainly Drake. And that track is called "Like That."
Ah,
But
like that.
yeah,
Basically, Kendrick, dropped the fire on him like that, literally. Like, like there's a lot of like controversy. They stir in the pot right now. Kendrick is because it seems that J. Cole and Drake are not his biggest, or he's not the biggest fan of Kendrick and J. Cole. But I always say whenever a big rapper throws another rapper's name into the mix, it's more of like it is a diss, but it's also like props because why else would I even acknowledge you, sort of thing, Why else would I bring your
true.
name up if your name wasn't worth bringing up, type thing. And
I
in a
agree.
song like that, one of the most controversial lines, because in J. Cole's one of J. Cole's pieces, he talks about how he says people always want to ask who the best rapper is, and then he mentions the big three, and being him, Kendrick, Drake, and Jake. You know, him, Kendrick, and Drake. So Kendrick is responding to that, saying, like, nah, it's just me. Like even in the song, he says, "MF the big three, it's just big me." And when I
Yeah,
say he came in snapping on that boy, like snapping, like from beginning, like soon as he came on the track, it felt like it was a Kendrick song. It wasn't nobody else on the track
yeah,
no more. You
you're
know,
right. Yeah, he went good for what, a minute.
yeah, and all like you could just tell like it was all conversation at you. So if anything, this is
Uh-huh.
going to be great for us as an audience to watch. Like I said, it gives us something else. This is what rap is about. It's about like who can be the best. It's about competing. It's not just all about bragging about what it's not all just about bragging. It's about competing too. Who can actually do something with the bars
Yeah,
uh versus just make them sound good. And I feel like
yeah,
Kendrick is dope at the artistry of it all, while you got J. Cole being dope at the lyrics of it all, while you got Drake being dope at being a star of it all. So if I had to pick a big three, I would put them two in that like category, or them three in that category.
what did you give Kendrick again?
Kendrick is definitely an artist. I feel like he
You
he
gave him the
definitely.
you gave him the artist one, and then J. Cole the lyrics, and Drake the
Yeah,
what?
J. Cole is the lyricist. Drake is the superstar for sure. Yeah, Kendrick,
Yeah,
when I say artist, I'm really like
artist.
saying like somebody who is not afraid to tackle the issues of current society, as
Oh,
well as make it sound good, you know.
like
Somebody who can
conscious.
remind
Yeah,
us what the what the avenue of hip hop is really created for. It was created as a place for the people who felt oppressed to express themselves to people who weren't listening, you know.
yeah,
Like, oh, now you gotta listen because we made it catchy.
yeah. I mean, I agree because out of those three, because like Drake, he shies away from like any social type issues. He's just talking about females,
Right.
but Kendrick, he definitely is that one. He'll talk about anything, whatever. Like if he got a problem with something, he's gonna talk about it. Like he's gonna go in, he's gonna
Yeah.
dig deep into that mug. So yeah, I agree on that. And J.
Well,
Cole,
the bell has
he
been
could do some
rung.
everything. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel you. I think that's a good label for each of them for sure. And you're right. Like the fact that Kendrick mentioned them, period, he feels a certain way. He's like, okay, these the top. Like he wouldn't
Yeah.
mention them. He didn't feel like they were the top, and so they could. I mean, they would, if I were them, I would take it as a compliment. I know Drake on his concert, he did say something, and people were kind of like, they were kind of like, why you even say anything, Drake? Because he was just
Ah,
basically like, just don't mess with me. Nobody can f with me type of thing. He was just on that
yeah,
mentality. And of course, he's at his concert, so his fans gonna be like, they're gonna go crazy about it. But
yeah,
some people were like, why you even say anything at all if you weren't gonna actually like address it? So
yeah. It's like go
and
get in the studio, man. That's the biggest way to respect the compliment back, to
uh-huh.
give the person back their props in a way where we're still duking it out, is you go get in the studio, you write it down, and you spit that joint, just like Megan Thee Stallion called out Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj wasted no time getting in her home studio. Like, come on, y'all got these places in your house, bro. We the fans, and this what we want to
Hmm.
see. We want to see blood, sweat, and tears on the microphone. Metro Boomin, I think, immediately unfollowed um J. Cole or unfollowed Drake like before they
Drake.
released it. So I just like
Yeah,
the
it was
whole like
Drake.
setup of it all. It's like, yeah, we really calling out for some good old rap beef. Let's go.
Right. And then Nav, I mean, Drake has had a few unfollows with the release of this album, Nav, and some others, but I think it's mainly because they're talking about there's a beef going on between Drake and Future over a lady. So there's a lot of a lot of things going
Mm,
on that people are talking about, and I don't know if it's more of like to hype up the album type thing or what, but because I'm like Drake, he already advertises how many ladies he's been with or seeing.
right.
So why would they have beef over one? You know what I mean? Same with Future. I feel like they really wouldn't care about one, but at the same time, who knows? But that's real silly if it's petty like that. If it's that petty, but
You
I
say
don't
if it's
know.
that petty. If it's
Yeah.
that petty. That's why I said this is like all the chit chat over the media and the interviews, like go on and hop in y'all studios and drop some track. When this happened to Eminem a few years
Hmm.
back when Meek Mills and Machine Gun Kelly, MGK were coming into the mix, and they were mentioning how, oh, Eminem ain't the only white rapper or the best type thing.
Hmm.
And, what did M do? Right in the studio, dropping heat on them. Because it's giving you a reason to do that. That's what y'all are in the game for. Y'all in the game to give us a reason to talk and to sharpen your craft as you get, because if you want to stay in the game, you got to keep perfecting the game. That's why you can't ever see perfection. You got to keep perfecting the game. The game's never perfect. That's why you keep playing, because you feel like
Yeah.
you can perfect it even better. And if there's a kid who just came in the game telling you, somebody who paved the way, that, and just to kind of jump back and forth, but that's crazy because like J. Cole was coming out with Peace and Flowers, like he's like including you in the big three, but then Kendrick's like, nah, it's just me, cuss. Y'all wish y'all
Yeah.
could be at the top.
Right. And then on top of all that, though, you got Kanye. You already he trying to come in on it, talking about it's just
What?
him. Yeah, like he's talking about he's basically over everybody. But my thing is, where you come from? Where you
Where
come
did
from? You
right?
doing good with your
Completely
album right
left
now. Why
field.
you worried about this? That was
Completely left
crazy to
field.
see.
That
Yeah,
was
he
one of
posted an
Kanye's
IG story
moments.
about it,
Yeah,
and
that
I
was
was
one of his.
like, okay, Kanye. There should be a brand, okay, Kanye. Like whenever he comes out saying stuff, like for real,
Ah,
because
that's a
he just
meme. Yeah.
he's all over the place with his stuff. But I mean, because I'm like he really don't have to try to stay relevant. You got Carnival and all this other stuff going on
Bro,
over there. Like, come on,
your daughter's
why
dropping
you?
out of elementary school.
Yeah, shout
Like,
out to
how do you drop out
Northwest
of elementary school, bro?
making a statement. Shout out to Northwest for that.
For real
But
though.
yeah,
She getting
I
political
mean,
with it already. And that's the
hmm
side of hip hop that I feel like is being less expressed now. And when people talk about, oh, they sold their soul, or oh, they sold out. And I feel like that's what we're really talking about when we talk about it, because everybody's scared to be political now. Like, yeah, nobody's saying don't drop. Like when I go work on my little mixtapes and my albums and stuff, and I'm working on tracks, no, I'm not going in there to be political. But there are times like I'm going in there and I'm doing the bragging rights stuff most of the time too. And you
hmm
making stuff people can dance to too. But sometimes
yeah,
stuff that happen in the world make me feel a certain way. And the only way I can express it is making this rap or making this poem, and then seeing what that sounds like on a bar. It's time to start making that type of rap catchy again. You know, I can't bring up no song
yeah.
right now in my head of a catchy political rap, but I know they're there. They're out there.
And when you say political, what do you mean exactly? Do you mean more social justice type stuff, or are
More
you talking about political,
not
political?
just social justice, but social controversies, things that's going on in the real world, more than what's happening in your driveway and in your
Hmm
garage and in your bank account. You
Yeah,
know,
I feel you.
like tell us how you feel about Donald Trump and Joe Biden, or how you feel about the war in Palestine, or how you feel about so and such, so forth. The
Yeah,
school system. Just
yeah.
whatever, the war on the sexes.
And I think it would get, if they did start talking about those topics more, it would help the youth start to research it more themselves and be have more interest,
Yeah.
because some of these topics are real serious that people should be knowing more about. And if the artists, their top favorite artists aren't talking about it, then they're like, okay, it must not be important. Because
Hmm.
a lot of these fans, they're like, really, they got that fandom down. Like they're just
Hmm.
diehard fans, and so they
Hmm.
really, I've seen it, and it's crazy. It's crazy, but especially like the Nicki fans, ooh, it's like
Mm.
they live, breathe, and sleep these artists and their
Nikki.
music. So
Yeah.
that would be
Yeah.
nice to see some more of them talking about those more serious topics for sure.
Hmm.
But
And I think it's a product of, because like I said earlier in the show, this country was built
mhm,
on the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors, whether they're
yeah,
Native American, African American, or European American. It was built on their backs. And now as our generations are being born, we're living the fruits of their labor. So we're not having to break our backs the way that they were. And that's why back then their music was full of so much soul, because they weren't just talking about the good times, they would talk about the bad times too, like Michael
yeah,
Jackson, Man in the Mirror, type songs, type vibes coming out. That's why I was really fascinated by Beyonce's album drop. Because she's not being afraid to go in there and kind of like talk about some real stuff. Even if you're not talking about it
yeah,
directly, for you to choose to remake a piece that was created for a certain era of time, that's you talking about it.
mhm. True. I
Yeah.
agree, and I also think, because we focus a lot on the hip hop artists, I think that it'd be good to have more R&B artists put it in their music too.
Mm-hmm.
They get to kind of skip that little magnifying glass. I think a lot of times, because they really just talk about having sex. Most of them
The good times.
really, like, I mean,
But
and
that
I'm like,
that's where you would get the conversation on the gender roles and stuff is in R&B music. I feel like that would be a great avenue for that conversation.
yeah,
It's tall. I don't know how it would sound, but like I could see it. I could see it. That's where you would have that conversation though with R&B, with the gender roles and whatnot, and how that sort
yeah.
of thing is changing.
And there are very few artists that do touch on those things. Like I would say, Life Jennings, he's one that kind of has touched on some topics, at least as far as like money, finances and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
but yeah, it would be nice to see more of that. But I do want to
Oh
also
yeah.
mention, like for this Future and Metro Boomin album, some of their other features that they have on it, because it is a 17 song album. It was released on March 22nd, but they also have The Weeknd on it. I was
Okay.
surprised to see him on it. Really, I don't know why I was surprised, but I guess because I haven't really heard much from The Weeknd recently. He's been kind of quiet. Then they got Travis Scott on it, Playboy Cardi, and what else they got? Rick Ross. Yeah. So
Mm.
again, it's a really nice album. If y'all haven't checked it out, make sure you check it out. I think it's really good for like the gamers, because like you getting that
Ah,
boom 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 like that bass and
you
stuff.
like you
That's
can
really, yeah.
feel the mode.
Yeah.
That's how you play video games, though.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
So I think it's
Yeah.
a real good gaming album for sure, and
Okay.
just like vibes, club album. It crosses a lot of different aspects of life where you can implement the music
Yeah, that's
for
right. It's a
sure.
lot of different aspects of life, and that's what an artist is supposed to do. It's not just all braggadocious, braggy, brag. It's also supposed to make you think, like, huh, today was a good day. Thanks, Ice Cube. You know.
Right. Yeah. And the first of the month, Bone Thugs. When it's the first of the month, people
Yeah,
think,
it's the first of the month. Hey, yeah,
yeah,
for real though. It's
yeah,
supposed to make you think. Yeah.
exactly. That's how I feel, man, for real. But we
Dun,
are you
dun.
ready for this one? Are you ready for this topic?
Yeah, this is something y'all should be rapping about right here.
Okay.
All this
We're gonna put
craziness
this
going on with this.
my favorite image here, right? Diddy. Or
Which
should I
one?
say no
The one of them
Diddy?
in a red chair. I knew you was gonna use that one. I knew you was gonna use that one.
Oh yeah, we gotta use that one. um so oh my gosh, where do we start? Okay, first of all, what's going on with Diddy? There's a lot of hearsay, first of all, but we're going to focus on the
Yeah, what's
facts.
some of the
But we're also
hearsay?
going to kind of like tell y'all what's not actually happening too. So, what's happening with Diddy on March 25th, which was Monday?
Mm,
Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami were raided. So,
mm,
and they were raided by federal agents. There's tons of them too. But they handcuffed both of his sons, and
mm-hmm.
they grabbed all this stuff from his house. We don't know exactly everything they got. They got all this stuff, and it was a big commotion. So a lot of people were feeling like, this is actually surrounding the case that was open. So there was
Mm,
a one of his former producers who actually was living with him at some point. He filed a case against Diddy, and I'm getting
mm.
his name because it just dropped off the top of my head. If you have it, please, please say it before I say it.
Uh,
But let me
you're
grab
not
his
talking
name
about
again.
Brandon.
Jones. Who's Jones? But let me get his actual. We don't need his full name. I'll just say Jones because everybody by now kind of. He went by Little Rod, but his name's Rodney Jones. He's the one that filed
Oh,
the.
Lil Rod. Yeah, I know who
Yeah,
you're talking
Lil Rod.
about.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah, he
producer
was
that
the
was.
first whistleblower.
You think it's the first? I don't even know the timeline actually, but
I thought
he
he was the
might. He
first.
might
Yeah,
be.
yeah. If I'm not mistaken, it started with him.
Oh, okay. I mean, there's been a few cases going on, but this case, y'all, Diddy is the one like everybody's talking about as far as like being outlined as like the main person. But it's actually not just against him. It's also against some major executives at um, record labels,
Mm,
and one of his sons, Justin, and also some
mm,
other people that worked with him. There's a big list. There's a big report. The document is like, okay, here's the thing about the documents, because there's been a few documents going on like circulating across the
mm,
internet, but there's one
mm.
that's a 73-page document, and that one is posted on
Yeesh.
digitalmusicnews.com. So if you go there, you can find the 73-page document. But there's talk from CBS News Miami. They were talking about there's another document, or they didn't say another. I'm not gonna like confuse the words, but basically they mentioned a 95-page document. I personally have not been able to locate the 95-page document, but I did notice because I read the whole 73-page document, and I noticed
Yeah.
that there were some redacted sections. So I'm thinking that if there is a 95-page document, then that one contains the redacted parts,
Mm,
because the one that Digital Music News put out is, everybody can grab it and look at it, read it. So it has
okay.
pictures of all of the defendants and everything.
Mm,
But I don't want to go through the names. We're not gonna. I don't like doing the name drop thing really, uh,
yeah. What is he being
because
charged with?
well, he's being. There's a lot of things. Whew, okay, let's go down. He's being charged with. It's basically a lot of sexual assault. There's some sex
Uh,
trafficking, um, drug stuff. There's a lot, because like that section itself is like, I want to say 20 pages, like with the different counts, because they go into detail.
jeez.
Yeah, it's just because they go into detail with all the legal terms of everything, and
Man.
why it's issue. But
Mm,
if y'all want to check it out, we're gonna be dropping the link to that, because there's a lot going on. But
yeah, this is what rappers
this
should be talking about. Like, y'all got the lyrical talent to talk about it without us knowing you talking about it. So this is what y'all should be doing, bro. You could be selling albums like that, but y'all keep going on these interviews. That's what y'all want to do instead of using your talent. I ain't
yeah,
scared. Make me famous and I'll do it.
we did have a viewer saying that she doesn't believe that doesn't believe Little Rod's version of the story, and that most likely it started with the Cassie, because Cassie's was first. Hers was filed first.
Oh, Cassie's story.
Yeah, hers was filed first, but again, we know he settled that real fast. Like he settled that like
Yeah.
it was going the next day. I was like, wait, she
Too
took that
suspicious
money.
how fast that was going.
Girl, take that money. But yeah, she took her money. So now Lil Rod, he has his thing. And I mean,
Mm,
people are saying different things about it. He does mention some other big names like in the industry. He does mention Stevie J and some other people. There's another one. He mentions Young Miami's cousin sexually assaulted
mm,
him. Like he's saying stuff
uh,
like that in this document.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like really serious allegations. But of course, with
Mm-hmm.
it has to go through the the legal system, as far as they have to actually find out if this stuff is really true. We do know who was that was arrested. There was someone that was mentioned in this document that was recently arrested. His name is Brendan Paul. He was arrested on March 27th, and that was in
Oh, where they
Miami.
get him at?
Where they you said where? Well, they got him on
Yeah.
drug charges, but he was arrested in
Mm,
Miami. So
mm.
there might be a trickle down effect where they're like, getting different people, because like they were
Oh
saying, as far
yeah.
as like the parties that Diddy was having, his home. Well, Lil Rod was saying that his home has cameras all around it, and so there's like all
Mm,
this stuff supposedly on his different devices. And he had this one tech
yeah.
guy that he would call all the time, but the guy doesn't have any social media. And so he just had his number. So he
Mm.
provided the number in the document, so that the authorities can get in touch with that guy. But I'm pretty sure once he found out that that document is out there, he changed his number. So we don't know if he
For
was using
real.
the right name either. So that guy might be hard to track
Yeah.
down. Who knows? And he's the tech
Yeah. I
guy, so
think.
he controlling all that. He probably deleted himself from the security camera, security cameras in there. He's like, shoot, I ain't gonna get caught on it.
Y'all gonna have to do better than that. Hell yeah. Yeah.
So we don't.
Just to speak
But
on the
he,
Brendan Paul bit.
uh-huh.
If I'm not mistaken, he was with Diddy. Um, in Miami, they were about to get on a private jet to
Mm.
they were about to get on a private jet to go somewhere else. I don't remember what the destination was, but I do remember that before they tracked Diddy down in Miami, they had caught one of his jets going out to the Caribbean, and there was nobody on it. So maybe he like did that as like trying to get him off his tail, and then he went to Miami to try to, you know, slide out that way. But they couldn't get Diddy in cuffs on the site. So I think what they did was they took Brendan, you know, because that was his dealer or whatever at that time. So if they can get Brendan to get on their side and collaborate with them, which I know what they saying to him in that little room right now. You know, they like, look, all we want is Diddy. All you gotta do, and then they hitting him with the deal and everything. You know, so we're gonna see maybe if Brendan folds. I don't know, you know, because Diddy seems to be pretty affluent, you know, and influential. So I don't know. It's really
Yeah,
like you said with the Cassie thing, it was almost like they got it over instantly. So and then he was seen later at Top Golf later on that week or that day at Top Golf with his
yesterday
two
I think with
daughters.
his daughters. Yeah, in Miami.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he didn't. They said he didn't seem nervous. I'm like, of course he's got to
he
have a
did a
great
peace
poker
sign at
face
the
right now.
camera, man. His peace. That's what he
Yeah,
did.
right,
He's
right.
chilling. He's chilling. I mean, Little Rod says
Vibing.
in his document, he says that Diddy feels like he's above the law. He said he has connections with law enforcement across the nation, basically, that he's been
And what?
involved in a lot of different shootings, the Shine shooting, he says that. So, I mean, with that said, if it is true, again, these are allegations, but if it is true, with that said, then yeah, he's gonna throw a peace sign at the camera because he's like, I got this
Like,
law
I hear
enforcement.
people saying stuff like, oh, he gay as heck and stuff like that. I'm like, this is not about him being homosexual. You know, it's about the
Yeah,
actions that he's taken to fulfill his desires. Like that's not. It's just not cool. You know. You know,
right.
we
Yeah, I
all
mean,
got
it's yeah, scary stuff. I mean,
yeah,
underage
scary
girls at
stuff.
the parties,
Really.
drugging them. He's accused of,
Mm-hmm.
lacing their drinks with all
Mm-hmm.
these different drugs and stuff. And that, the label executives that are included in this document, they're accused of like basically, I forgot the term, but like just doing nothing, like enablers. They're accused of being
Oh,
like enablers.
enablers. Yeah, that's what you call it.
Yeah, it's like they know about it. Like, oh, this is just how Diddy is. That's Diddy. Just letting it slide, and actually recruiting these young girls to the parties and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's serious stuff. And Lil Ryder himself, he was talking about he was sexually assaulted by Cuba Gooding Jr. Again, these are allegations. He does
Mm.
have a picture in the document of Cuba Gooding Jr. touching, I think his thigh or
Yeah.
something. I'm like, who took the picture? I don't know if it was from, if Diddy took the picture because he said Diddy was with them at the time or was on a boat. But he has a lot of pictures in the document, so
Yeah.
he's really trying to push his story. I mean, whether people feel it's true or not, he definitely is trying to push that story. And
Yeah, I don't think a lot of it is true. I don't think a lot of it is, and when I say not true, I mean a lot of him like being like, "No, I didn't do that." Like I'm thinking like, "Nah, bruh, it sound like you did that." Like maybe not every last one of them, but it sound like you was on some weirdo stuff, just some weirdo stuff.
I mean,
Especially if you listen to
yeah,
other people's opinions, like 50 Cent saying how Diddy offered to take him shopping. And I'm just like, man, I ain't never really like heard that from a dude before. Like in the way that he said it, it's just like, nah, you can't. And then he's coming from a time when homosexuality was extremely frowned upon. So now that he's now in a new time, I'm pretty sure he's not as uh reserved as he used to be. Like now he's probably more out about it and about things. And with that
yeah. I mean,
comes the truth coming to the light.
yeah. I mean, yeah. A lot of people are, tending to focus on the sexuality part, and of course, again, that's a personal thing right there. And we're definitely not
Yeah.
focusing on that at all because it's like, if you lean a certain way, that's you. I just feel as long as he's letting people know ahead of time how he leans, that's on that. So the fact that a lot of people, especially in the Black community, are focusing on that part of it, I think that's kind of
Yeah,
uh, I don't
that's
like
the
that
wrong side of the
because I mean
conversation.
you got to look at what the actual allegations are. And again, these are all
Yeah,
allegations. Again, this is not factual. Or we don't know if it's factual or not. So it's allegations. Just want to
hmm,
emphasize that. But at the same time, they're very serious ones, and there are a lot of
yeah,
names named with pictures. So we'll
hmm.
see what the authorities find out, and what's true or not. We'll find out one day, hopefully.
Oh yeah,
But
it's gonna come down to pretty much what it's gonna come down to is how much power does Diddy have over the people that can speak out against him, because of course he wasn't doing the stuff alone. He wasn't having these parties and stuff alone and the only one indulging in the things. So he's probably got blackmail on people that's keeping them from opening their mouths versus the defense, what the justice system is going to dig up to use against him. If they can't dig
yeah,
up no solid evidence, they're just going to have word of mouth to try to go against him, and that's not going to work.
well, in the document, Lil Rod does also state that he has some very reputable, like the wording, I'm saying reputable, that's just my phrase, but he's basically saying he has some sources that right now they're unnamed, but that if this does go to trial, that they're willing to actually go on the stand to talk. So right now, that's what he's saying in the document.
Mm,
So we don't know who
wow.
they are, but I
No.
do know that it has a redacted R&B singer on there and a redacted rapper on there, as far as like
Mm,
two individuals that Diddy was having some sexual relations with that were involved in the sex trafficking part of it, but we don't
mm,
know who those are either. There's speculations out there. I've seen speculations, and I actually don't want to. I don't even want to mention. I don't want to mention none of them because
uh-huh.
y'all have already seen them. I'll just say that they're speculations. They're not deemed to be fact yet. So if y'all have seen those, I wouldn't really share that stuff because that's like damaging their names.
Mm,
50 Cent been going in. 50. Have you been on 50 Cent's Instagram? He's been going
man.
in, man. Like, oh
Yeah, he does
goodness,
not
he's talking
like P.
about his
Diddy. Not as
baby
much as
mama.
Diddy thinks that he likes him.
What's that?
I said he does
What'd you
not
say?
like P. Diddy. Not as much as
Oh,
Diddy thinks he likes him at all.
well, I don't think Diddy thinks 50 like him at all. I mean, that's been for a minute
Yeah,
because
no,
50
and
been talking about it for a minute, but he's
yeah,
been
yeah,
going in
true,
big
true, true.
time. He's talking
Yeah.
about his baby mama in it, and yeah, all kinds of stuff. But I mean, uh, it's just crazy, But we'll see
Hmm.
what happens with that case. I just, everybody that might come forward later, if there are, if it is true allegations and stuff, I just pray that they are getting the counseling that they need to deal with all this because it's a lot, and a lot of names are being dropped. So crazy. Anyway,
Well, just to leave
let's
it on
get
a
a picture off
positive
of that.
note,
Get that
you
picture off of
know,
there. Yeah, let's see.
to
Okay,
leave
what
it
do you
on a
want to talk about?
positive
Is
note
positive.
amidst all these Diddy, yeah, amidst all this Diddy conversation. Uh, Lizzo was talking about leaving, quitting the
Oh,
music internet because of internet trolls, but we got Lotto speaking up for, she had her back,
oh, that's good.
saying that
Yeah.
she,
Go ahead.
yeah, saying that the truth hurts, but you gotta, as an artist, you gotta be able to look beyond that truth and see the greater truth. Ooh, that was philosophical. Write it down.
Yeah, and I will say, yeah, for sure. Because, yeah, and what Grandmaster Bass Monstar is talking about, Lizzo, she actually did yesterday post on her Instagram that she's quitting. It's, a nice, good paragraph of
Hmm.
content where she's, should I read it? I have it up. Let me read
Okay.
it. I'm not gonna read it. But basically, she's saying
Yeah.
she's just tired of putting up with being dragged by everybody. She still has that pending case
Yeah.
going on, but she has a lot of stuff going on. Really, she has that case. I mean, that's one negative thing she has going on. But on the positive side,
Mhm.
she has that her line. She has her swim line dropping for
Wow.
full figure women. So she had posted
Okay.
that 2 days before she posted this thing about quitting. So that made me feel like,
Uh,
why are you posting that though? Like maybe something happened about
yeah.
like after she dropped the swim line thing where she didn't like some comments or something that made her post the other
Hmm.
thing. I'm not sure, but the swim line looks pretty interesting, and she says it's going to
Yeah.
drop April 1st, which is Monday. So that's real
Don't
fast.
April Fools us and switch it
Oh,
now.
oh, that'd be messed. Oh man, that'd be
That
messed
would
up.
be
Yeah,
the
don't
biggest
April
April
Fool's.
Fool's prank ever.
Yeah,
Man.
I
But
thought about
that's
that for Harold Second. What you just mentioned, it made me think. Oh wow, man, I hope it ain't because that's a nice ad she made for that swim line. So
yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it. They ain't that funny. They're
yeah,
more serious type of people. This ain't the comedy store. Yeah, but I'm glad to hear that Lotto spoke out because
hmm
uh she definitely wanted to give the flowers back to Lizzo for convincing her to stick with it, you know. And whenever you send good energy out like that into the world, you want it to come back to you when you need it most. And she probably needed to hear that most from somebody else who's also in her arena. Because I think sometimes we also forget that these are just normal people who became phenomenons, you know, like just like
yeah,
any of us, they have problems, they have mental issues, they get hurt, you know. Your skin can only be so tough before somebody pierces it, you know. So just be
true.
nice to the stars out there, y'all. I know it's not everybody, you know, it's just a couple of bad apples trying to spoil the bunch. But just be try to be nice to the stars out there, man, because they're showing us what we can do if we just dream a little more. You know, we are the
True.
dreamers of dreams, and we are the music makers.
Yeah,
So
I think that was
that's
really nicely said because there's a lot of pressure on them after they make it, and
yeah.
then like just coming up, a lot of friends and family don't be supporting them, just as they're
Hmm.
getting to that point, and then they get there after all these fans were like, rooting them up,
Hmm.
and then the fans start, tearing them down after they're up
Yeah,
there.
to tear you down.
And so
Yeah,
I definitely, that's
it can
crazy.
be a weird psychological thing because you got all this love coming at you. You know, my comment section ain't that big. I get like maybe 15, 10, 5 comments, right? But I'll have like 90% of the comments being like, great job. Then 10% of the comments, there's this one guy that's like, thumbs down, you
Oh,
suck.
really?
It's like that's what your brain focuses on, though. It's not like it,
He's
you
just
have to
negative.
actually
Yeah.
develop you have to develop a switch to make yourself focus on it. It also depends on your upbringing too. Like depending on where you were brought up, how hard
Hmm.
it is to focus on the good stuff. But
Right.
it doesn't change once you whether you go from one person following you to 10 million people following you. 90% of it's going to
Yeah.
be great stuff. There'll be the 5% that is undecided, and then there's the 5% that, you know, like they just woke up having a bad day, or every day's a bad day and they want to make yours worse, you know. So you
Ooh,
got to
I
be able
know some people were. Yeah, I know some people were. Every day's a bad day.
to
Some people just negative, like woo, like dang.
Mhm.
You need to just
Yeah.
look at the sky. Isn't the sky pretty? Like
Right.
goodness gracious, some people are
Look at the
like that
sky.
though.
What? Look at the sky for what? It's a thunderstorm coming. I want to look at the
Yeah, because
sky.
if they're like that too, they don't realize that gets in their algorithms. If they, if they focus on that type of negativity stuff, that's all they're gonna see all day long on their feeds. But they don't even know it. But that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So if you're not one of
Yeah,
those type of people out there in the world, y'all, just remember you're keeping the balance. And at times you will be tested. The universe will
yeah,
test your ability to keep that balance. And I'm just
for
telling you to
sure.
hang in there. Hang in there.
That's what's up. Yeah, for sure. Want to give a verbal shout out to Christian who's been checking out the show. But yeah, and it's been a pleasure today. Thanks everybody that's been tuning in. Make sure because like the music that we talk about, these artists, they're actually on our home base radio playlist. So make sure y'all are checking out the playlist over on Homebase Radio. You can access all of them either by going to homebaseradio.com, or you can also go to Spotify, which is the home of all of our playlists. We're the curators for the playlist, and we place any tracks that we think are nice. We place them on. We got over 50. So, and if you're an artist that wants to be on one, just send us the music. We'll take a look at it. But
Bring it in.
yeah, because these artists, we're not just mentioning them just off the top of our head. We actually have them on the playlist. Oh yeah, speaking of one we didn't talk about, we have a video for it. It's Cardi B. Wanted to play this video because she went on her. We didn't even play JT Finesse's video. Oh my goodness, we
Oh,
okay. We got okay, y'all. We're back checking a little bit because we got to play JT
a little
Finesse's
bit.
freestyle video from last night. He was the winner for all of March.
Oh yes,
And then
gotta
we're gonna
gotta throw that up on the board for sure.
yes, and then we're gonna
Can we
check
get a
out
drum
Cardi
roll?
B. Oh, drum roll. Yeah, there's a drum roll. Okay, here we go.
Why the fuck they really trying to make that fame off me? Why the fuck they really trying to make a name off me? Rose up from the bottom to the top. Now everybody in my way trying to make a nigga stop. Look, back me in the corner, you gon' see what I'm about. 80 niggas ain't about it, yeah, I know they ain't gon' rock. I be out here catching bodies, yeah, you know that I'm gon' slide. Yeah, you wanna steal my shine, yeah, you trying to take the name up off me. I'ma stand, I'ma push forward for what I believe. I be standing strong, holding it down, just like a tree. I ain't standing on stage, I got the spotlight on me. The fake friends trying to come back, and I see through their schemes. Hey, forget what you told me, said you was down and you was out. Now I see you shining, and I see you won't come around. Boy, it ain't for much, just to go and get it in return. Gave my all, got nothing, and I let it all burn. Hey, I made it from the bottom, I ain't never had shit. Neighborhood growing up, bottles hoover crib. Youngin' from the block, you know that I got them Dracos, let them rip. Anywhere I'm at, JT throw.
Yeah, he did his thing last night. Grandmaster Bass Monstar got the Grandmaster Bass Monstar. We just added these sound effects, y'all. He's loving the sound effects. But yes, shout out to JT Finessa because
Absolutely.
that was nice, right? But his
Yeah, yeah.
his
Man.
acapella was, oh my gosh. We gotta put that somewhere. We're probably gonna put it up on our YouTube because his
Freestyle
acapella was,
Fridays,
woo.
man.
I
Be
wasn't
leaving me
expecting.
inspired.
Yeah, that was really nice. Congratulations again to him. And Freestyle Fridays is every Friday at 9:30 p.m. Central. I mean Eastern, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Let's put it
And
up
what
so
I
y'all
gotta
can
do
see
to
it.
enter?
Huh?
And what I gotta do to enter?
Oh yeah, to enter, go to our website, which is homebasepromo.com. Click on artists. Actually, on the first page, you'll see Freestyle Fridays banner. You can click there to sign up directly from there, or you can go to the artist page, see what other services we have for the artists, because it's free to enter that. It is a monthly competition that restarts every month. We have a grand prize at the end of the each month, and it's just been really fun. It's been really fun to see the different
Nice.
artists that have been participating. Shout out to all of them. Everybody's been going hard, and shout out to Sean and Don, the host of the show. Sean with Straight Official Freestyles, and Don Dada. Don
Dun,
crazy though, man.
dun.
He had us almost panicking backstage last night. He's talking about it's supposed to be a judges panel vote for the grand prize show, but he was talking
Uh-huh.
about audience get to vote. I was like, what? You got After he said that, we were scrambling backstage trying to get it together. Ooh. But Don, we did it. We did it. So
All right.
yeah, we might have to
Yeah,
include the
love
audience vote
Freestyle
going forward.
Fridays.
Yes,
Love it. Love what they're
for
doing over
sure.
there at Freestyle Fridays, leaving me inspired every time to jump behind the mic and drop some fire of my own. I'm gonna do it one of these days. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, you should submit a feature. We could do the feature. Just submit a feature for sure. But
No doubt.
Cardi B, want to talk about her because she not talk about her, but mention her. It's a good mention. She went live
Okay.
the other day on her Instagram, and she was just.
Cardi
I like
B.
how she just vibes with her fans, and so
Yeah.
she was just sitting there eating. I don't know what she was eating. It looked like I think some seafood or something. but with
I
some
can see
fries.
it now.
Yeah, she just smacking, but but
Uh-huh.
but she was just talking,
She's
just
so New
candid
York
talking.
with it. She's so North with it for real.
Yeah, she really is. But there's one part of that live where she kind of went deep because she was basically she had some hot sauce and I think she had a little bit of ketchup at first, but then the ketchup ran out. She wanted some more ketchup, or maybe she didn't have no ketchup at
Mm.
all. But anyway, she wanted some ketchup for her fries, and so she was just waiting on the live for him, and she was just talking to everybody. But here's a clip of what she was saying while she was waiting on that ketchup.
Ketchup,
What
where
you
are
talking about, Diddy?
you? Oh, they found the ketchup. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Of course, of course.
Thank you. I really appreciate ketchup and everything because, like, like when I went to prison and everything, I went to prison for 4 years. I was like between 19 and 22 and everything. I went to prison and everything for armed robbery and whatever. So like in prison they wouldn't give us ketchup or whatever because like sometimes like the girls will put the ketchup on the wall and they will confuse the COs. They will confuse the ketchup with the blood. So like they just was like, yo, you know what? We just not gonna give y'all ketchup. Yeah. That's why I appreciate every single time that like I see like a ketchup package and everything. I appreciate that a lot because like for 4 years straight I couldn't eat like nothing with ketchup when I was in prison.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool for her to share that personal story during a embarrassing time of her life. But that was a trip how she because she said she was there for 4 years and she couldn't have ketchup for 4 years, so she really cherishes
Wait
some
a minute. She
ketchup.
was in that restaurant for 4 years?
Yeah, for
She was not
armed
in that
robbery.
restaurant for no 4 years.
She
She,
said 4 years.
she's still
Why
there
don't you
now.
believe? Wait, what'd you say? No, I'm talking about she
I said,
prison. I'm talking about prison.
oh,
You
she's
said
in
so.
prison. They wouldn't give her no
Yes.
ketchup.
Oh yeah, prison. I
Oh.
didn't. Yeah, it
I'm
was
like, she's
prison.
still in
She
the
was.
restaurant, girl. Leave. They
Oh,
sell ketchup
restaurant.
at the
Okay.
grocery store.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you say. I was like, "What is he say?" Okay. No, she was at
Nah, it's all
prison.
good.
Prison. But that was an interesting story, and something that you normally wouldn't think about. But she gets people to think
Yeah.
about stuff that you never would have thought about.
Yeah, why
And
they not
today in
giving
her
you ketchup
broadcast,
in prison? That's
huh?
weird. I say, I wonder why they not giving out ketchup in prison.
I mean, she just said it. They were rubbing it on the walls, pretending it was blood.
Oh, I
Yeah.
told you the video was choppy on my side.
Oh,
I didn't
was?
even.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they were rubbing ketchup on the walls, acting like it was
So it would
blood.
look like blood.
Yeah. So they just stopped giving it
Okay,
out
okay.
altogether, which was
Ah,
interesting. But
those crafty
yeah,
prisoners.
right. But cool story.
Yeah.
But make sure y'all check out. She has a new single out right now. It's called Enough,
Yes,
Miami,
yes.
and it's on all
It's in the
streaming
top
platforms.
20 on the
Check out.
billboards.
Yeah, it did really well. I was surprised that it actually
Mm-hmm.
was number one when it first came out. I was like, dang, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It like people talk about her lyrics and stuff, like not going as hard as some other artists, but she actually, out of all the artists out right now, female wise, besides Nicki Minaj, she actually has some of the most um, radio friendly music. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So the industry
mm.
really wants radio friendly artists right now, and so I
Yeah.
think a lot of people don't understand, they don't get it. I'm like, that's why she's at the top, because you can listen to it on the radio. She
Yeah.
sends the edited version. She doesn't have just like only dirty releases,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
props to her for
Yeah.
being smart when she's releasing her music. She's strategic with it and actually getting on the
Mm.
radio. Getting
Yeah.
on the
And if I could throw a shout out there to the DJs in the world, man, that's y'all
yeah,
job, bro. As a DJ, you're supposed to like, and if you enjoy a song really well, you're supposed. What used to happen is they would remix the song and then take the curse words out so it could be played while kids are in the room too, because the kids gonna bop to it regardless, you know.
yeah,
So as parents, we gotta be ahead of that kind of curve, you know. Like the artists always say, it's not our responsibility to make what we make it for the fans of all ages, and it's y'all responsibility to be the filter. You know, DJs, it's
Yeah,
y'all responsibility to do that with the music. You know, you chop it, screw it, and that's a great way to get your name out there as a DJ, a producer too. Is somebody who's always dropping the clean version of the hottest track, because the hottest tracks these days always have curse words in them. And my kids, when I'm teaching them, they always want to listen to the stuff that got the swear words, and I'm like, bro, I can't play that for you. Is
yeah,
there a
it's messed
clean
up.
version?
You're right, and and that's one reason why on home based radio we've realized that, so we have some clean music like the home based radio vibe
Oh.
playlist that's clean, kids can listen to it and everything. But it's really important. That's a great point with the DJs, because like there are very few DJs doing it where they actually will clean it up themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
see too
that's
many
real DJ
DJs
work
waiting
right
on the
there.
clean. Yeah, I see too many
Mm-hmm.
waiting on the clean tracks. Like, just clean it up.
Yeah, waiting on somebody else to do it. Yeah. And the
Is it
thing
hard
is,
to clean it
without
up?
the, huh?
As a DJ yourself, is it hard to clean it
Is it
up?
hard to clean it up? It's a
Mhm.
process. It really is. So, anything worth doing is kind of hard though. And I did want to mention one more thing about that whole like process, about that DJing process, but the thought escapes me. So if it come back to me, I'll say it. But yeah,
Okay.
that's what the DJs are meant to do, man. Y'all supposed to make the tracks uh even funkier once they drop out, not just, oh, I'm gonna just turn this on, or I'm gonna just make a beat for somebody else to rap over. Like, you supposed to take the stuff that's already out there and make it even saucier. Like, that's what we here to do, you know? I gotta
Yeah.
get my DJ skills on. I got a lot of opinions. I need to just start taking my own advice.
Yeah, for sure. Um, and as we're about to close out the show today, there is another video I want to play. Is Paul Wall with Frankie J. They actually did an acapella, was acapella slash acoustic, because it has a guitar in it. But Frankie J has a show coming up, and they made this promo video to actually announce the show. So I want to play this real quick.
Ooh, girl, I'd be in trouble if you left me now. 'Cause I don't know where to look for love. I just don't know how. Ooh, girl, I'd be in trouble if you left me now. I don't know where to look for love. I just don't know how. It started off, we were two peas in the pod, motivated by love with the blessings of God. We were head over heels in this love thing. Funny, ain't it? Thinking back, our friends thought it was just a flame. I used to call you on the phone, late night tip, back in in your ear, conversation well equipped. I used to make you laugh, I used to make you smile, and all the while your jealous friends were in denial. We felt a lot of jealousy from the very start. Your so-called friends kept trying to tear us apart. They used to tell you all kind of lies, just like a wolf in sheep's clothing. The devil came in disguise. They transformed all your smiles into tears. They sabotaged our happiness and blamed it on my busy career. I gave you everything, ready to please, but I guess it wasn't enough, cause now you're ready to leave. But don't go, baby. Oh, girl, I'd be in trouble if you left me now. I don't know where to look for love. I just don't know how. Don't go.
Yeah, that was
Okay, okay.
that was the song "Girl." The song is called "Girl," and
Ah,
it was like one of his most popular songs. Like, I remember just hearing it all the time. But he has a show coming up at Billy Bob's Texas. It's on June 20th.
okay.
So this is a really, really early promo for that particular show. But shout out to Paul Wall and Frankie J for
Dope.
that.
Shout out. Whoop de
Yep,
whoop.
yep. But yeah, thank y'all
Not,
so much for tuning in today. What was that? You got something?
I was just gonna say we need to add some more sound effects. I wanted to play a siren at one point.
Ah,
Like, burn, burn,
oh, sorry.
burn.
That particular sound, because for my work, I'm
Uh-huh.
always on call, and they had told us to put a siren sound on our phone. So I was like, I'm done with the sirens.
For real,
But
they
maybe a
got toxic.
bullhorn. Maybe that bullhorn. Maybe we could add a bullhorn.
Yeah. Like,
But yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
But thank
y'all,
y'all so
that's
much
just
for
it.
tuning in.
Yeah, we rep the block. Now you go rep yours.
For sure. And let us know where y'all
I'm
from.
gonna
Like,
go.
uh
Huh?
huh. Oh no, I was saying rep my blog. They when you watch the show, make sure y'all let us know where you're from, where you're watching from, and we'll make sure to give y'all a
Yeah.
shout out too. That used to be pinned on the bottom when we're live, but it's not on there now, so we got to put that back.
Okay.
I'll put it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
Make
put it
sure
back.
y'all leave that
But
in the
yeah,
comment section. Let
Ketchup,
us
where
know where
are
you from so
you?
we can shout.
sorry, I hit that catch up thing again. Sorry, there's a little delay.
Oh.
Y- yeah, sorry about that. But I think you were saying to make sure
Yeah,
make sure
they
y'all let us
comment
know.
where y'all from,
Right.
man. All
But
right.
thanks for the
I'm
love,
gonna go
everybody.
finish helping Elon Musk make a jet to Mars. So, peace.
That's what's up. Peace. Have a good one.